Hi, Jeff Spira here, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the shipwrecks that we have here in Southern California. I've done a lot of research, and I've got a big database of shipwrecks that I've published into a book, and I just want to tell you about some of them. Okay, let's start by going up the coast to the Santa Barbara coastline. We go west of Santa Barbara to Point Arguello, and this is a ship called the Delphi. It was one of 7 destroyers that back in 1923 turned too soon, before the days of radar, turned too soon to go down the Santa Barbara Channel, and this is the scene of the crime. It's called Devil's Jaw. This is a ship called the Yankee Blade. It's a side-wheeler schooner that also sank there. And this is the anchor of a schooner ship called the Aggie that's in the water off the coast of Santa Barbara there. There's another ship that was a drill platform. It was built from an LSM, or landing ship medium, that was used in World War II, and then they used it to drill for oil. That one's there too. This is an interesting ship. It's out at the Channel Islands. It's called the Golden Horn, and this is called the Peacock, and it's a minesweeper from World War II. There's some mystery about it. They think it may have even been a bordello sitting out there in the Channel Islands. Coming down towards L.A. area, this is the Palawan. It was a World War II Liberty ship, 400 feet long. It sunk outside of Redondo Beach. Back when I was a teenager, my father took me fishing here. This was a fishing barge anchored off of Redondo Beach called the Sacramento. It began its life as a ferry boat up in the Bay Area. Out towards Palos Verdes Point is this ship called the Avalon. It was a ship that carried people back and forth to Catalina, and it sunk out there. Around the LA harbor side, this was another gambling ship from the 1920s. That's about 4 miles off the coast there. That's all. In 1933, a movie company decided they wanted to make a movie about World War I. So they bought this ship. It was a World War I U.S. destroyer, and it was going to play the role as a German destroyer. And they were going to show it being blown up, and so they packed it full of dynamite and blew it up, and it sits about 7 miles off the beach of Huntington Beach on the bottom in 2 pieces. Alright, let's move down to San Diego. Sitting right off Mission Beach is this ship. It's called the Ruby E. It started life as the Cayenne or Cyan, I'm not sure which, as a Coast Guard cutter that was built in the early part of the last century, and it served its duty up through World War II in the Aleutian Islands. It's sunk down there as an artificial reef. There's another ship down there. This is called the El Rey. It was a kelp cutter that they no longer use anymore, and you can see it's in pretty good shape. There's a tower down there too that I used to drive by all the time when I was commercial fishing out of Mission Bay. It was the NOSC towers for observing waves and stuff, and it collapsed in the 1980s and now sits there in this row of ships called Wreck Alley. There's also a Canadian destroyer there called the Yukon. It was sunk in the 80s and still in great shape. These are some guns that you see here. This is just a couple years ago, so you can see it's in just pristine condition. It was intended to be sunk there as an artificial reef. Farther south in San Diego is this destroyer from World War I, who also served World War II as well. And this World War I destroyer, called the Hogan, it was used in World War II in both the Atlantic and Pacific, and then sunk for target practice by bombers in 1945. Alright, let's move on to Catalina. This is the Kismet. It's a sailboat, very close to shore, real easy dive. And in Descanso Bay, just north of Avalon Harbor, is this ship. It's called the Valiant. It was a a yacht, a very famous yacht, in fact, that caught fire and then eventually sank slowly in Descanso Bay, and it sits on the bottom now. It's a very often visited wreck in the area. South of Catalina, at San Clemente Island, that is a Navy-owned island, is this ship, the John C Butler. It was a destroyer escort and participated in many famous battles, including Iwo Jima, Okinawa, and of course the big granddaddy of them all, the Battle of Leyte Gulf. It was brought back after the Second World War and then sunk for bombing and artillery practice after that. There's another ship there called the Indoctrinator, also called the Gregory originally, and it was hit by a kamikaze in Okinawa and then fixed up and later used in the Korean War and then brought back and again used for target practice and sunk. Okay, if you stop by my website, I have a book that includes all these ships and dozens more. It's called Wrecks and Reefs of Southern California. And you can buy it on the website. And it's got all the precise GPS coordinates for all these wrecks. It also has a interesting database that's a side scan sonar of the entire coast, and it has every imaginable target. Some of these might be old pirate ships, it might be junk. A lot of them have never been visited, so it'll be a fun thing to go take a look at. The website is spirainternational.com. Take a look at some of my boat plans that I have available for sale there, and I have a number of other books on marine topics. Well, thank you for watching, and stop by my website and send me an email and say hi.